Welcome back, everybody. Today I have got a Power Rangers Samurai Megablade. Actually, as a matter of fact, I have not one, but I have two. I have three Megablades today. So, what I'm working on, I'm going to go ahead and run through this one. Just cycle the electronics, test them out. So we can hear this one works. Sounds are working like it's supposed to. What I come across on these, I'm going to lay this one to the side. These other two that I have. This one is in great shape as far as the actual toy itself. The problem that I have is the electronics don't work on this one. Let me throw some batteries in it right quick, show you what we have going on. Just takes two AAA. I've already got the battery covers off. Fresh batteries, power switch, I'm not getting anything there. Nothing there. And what I have, or what I'm planning on doing, as opposed to tearing into this, I still want to tear into this one and see what's wrong with the switch, whether it's the actual power switch here, or maybe it's in the button. But what I have is probably the simplest remedy for this. This one, that does work. I've got power. As you can see, I believe it's been chewed on just a little bit. I'm not sure if this has been a toddler or a dog, but the blade on it's in pretty bad shape. So what I'm hoping to do today is actually swap the blades out from this one to the one that's working, so we have one good working piece. And like I say, hopefully at some point I'll go through this other one and we'll find out what's causing the problem. We'll see if we can't get to work on this. I've not actually torn into any of these yet. I've just kind of studied on them a little bit to try and see how they come apart. But we're going to start popping some screws and see what happens. See if we can't get everything apart. So my first thought is I'm going to see if we can pop these two screws here in the side of the blade loose and actually take the plastic piece out. If not, more than likely we'll have to take the rest of these screws down the side of the blade out. So we're going to try that first. Like I said, I'm not sure how that happens, but it seems like when I do get new stuff in, it's always multiples at once. Like I said, I've got three of these. There's possibly another one laying around here somewhere that I've misplaced or forgotten about. Alright, that gets us loose there, but that is not going to do the trick. So we're going to have to take the rest of these screws out. We had two in the front of the blade, and the rest of it here. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right here, possibly 9 if we go with the one here. So I'm just going to try and pop all these loose, and nothing else. We're going to find out how this thing comes apart. This was actually a lot that I picked up on Facebook. Got a lot of legacy. I think I may have mentioned that the last time. I picked up a bunch of legacy stuff, but it had a bunch of oddball stuff as well. This being one of the things in there. Okay, one thing to note as we're taking this loose, these screws here are smaller, shorter screws. The two up here in the black casing, they're going to be longer screws, so you definitely want to sort those out, lay them to themselves. Keep them separated so everything goes back together like it should when we put it back, hopefully. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to come loose because it is spring actuated. So, as per the usual, if you've watched any of the other videos that I've had, always be careful when you take stuff that's spring loaded loose, because when you go to take it apart, springs have a tendency to go flying across the room. really got to figure out a different mount for my camera system. I know that probably makes some people downright nauseous while I'm trying to work on stuff shaking the table. Okay. It's got every one but the big one in the center. So, let's see if there's a way we can pop this out without having to take everything loose. Okay, so as we separate right here, and it is spring loaded, gonna have to take the whole thing apart. But I am seeing this is one solid piece, so we're gonna want to take, for safety's sake and not losing the screws, we're gonna go ahead and put these two back in the blade. It's less to put back later. Okay, we'll leave that to the side. I'm guessing we're basically going to have to take this thing completely apart. Because I can't really tell from right here, but the spring is right here. I don't think I might can get a decent look. There is a spring right there. It's hard to see in this light, but I'm going to go ahead and take it all apart. I'm going to have to get something a little more substantial than my small screwdrivers, so let me grab what I need. Okay, get a set of pliers. We can break these loose. There's always one that has to be a pain. Okay. And that screw is actually longer than the rest of what we've been taking out, so we will separate it from the rest of them. A lot of screws in this thing. Okay, when we get past that one on the back half of the handle, we have one screw here, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So got a lot of screws in this dude. For those of you that are still waiting on the turbo mortar, I haven't got decals ordered yet. Hoping to get those ordered this week. I've actually been home sick for the last 5 or 6 days with COVID. So that's basically put a damper on my plans. I've had to kind of hang tight and take it easy till I got better. But hopefully be back to work this week. And I'm really wanting to get some labels ordered. I'd love to get that thing finished and start making it. Make it look like it should again. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do on the chrome on it. Some of the pieces on it. So if anybody has any suggestions that you've used as far as chrome, I'd like to find something. I'd like to get back as close as possible, but I know that's very hard to do. The chroming process that they use back in the day on the factory, I think it's pretty expensive to have done if you redo it. But that's why I'm going to try and find something. Make it look close. It won't be perfect, but I don't shoot for perfect. Okay. Let me check here. Make sure I actually see another screw here in the top that I missed. A bunch of this thing. But it's always the fun part. I enjoyed that as a kid, taking apart toys, if nothing else, just to see exactly how they work. Because they come up with some pretty cool stuff to make stuff function like it does. Okay. Wow. This is pretty interesting, actually. Okay, we've got the handle portion off. I'll try and get here to where I can show you what's going on. Speaker, power switch. There's the button that activates everything. My only fault that I really have now is to get the rest of this off. I'm afraid I'm going to have to take, because we've got a big, this is your big spring that basically loads this thing when you fold it up. Spring loads it, so when you hit the button it turns it loose. I'm hoping I can get this taken apart fairly easy, but that's not going to happen. Let me study upon this for a minute, see if I can figure out how the rest of it comes loose. Okay, I think I've got this figured out. Take the top half of this blade off to get to where we need to for the other blade. You have 3 flathead Phillips screws right here. We take these loose. Your spring is bolted on this side, but it slides over this peg here. There we go. That's a little better angle. Spring is bolted on here with a screw, and the other side of the spring, basically its hinge point, is right here on this dowel. So that will have to come off. Take these, 3 screws loose, and then it should pop off. So I'm going to try and do this without slapping my brains out with the spring. Okay. It's not got that much pressure on it, so that's a good thing. And we're off. This is actually more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but it's just part of it. Okay. Let's see if I can actually turn that back around. This is the slide cavity for our blade, and here's the spring we were looking at. There's a little hook here that the spring mounts on. Now, where it attaches back here, I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm guessing. Okay. Makes sense. It's a double hook type deal. On the edge of our blade, there's another one of the same mounting hooks as that. So basically, it mounts in here just like so. On the end of that. Try and show that. Basically, when you push it back, stretches that spring. So, nothing major. I know how that mounts up now. Okay, now the fun part. Got to go through that entire process again on the other one. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause here. And when I come back, we'll put that one back together once I get the other one squared away. Alright, I had to switch off time lapse there. I was trying to speed things up. There's so many screws in this. So I was wanting to make sure I got a few screws back in the casing to actually see if this works. Got the spring loaded blade working. It's doing like it's supposed to. Press the button, fold it up, And there we go. It's hard to get everything. Let me try that one more time. It's hard to really see on camera. I'm so close. Fold it. You got the switch down here. Flips out. Blade comes out. Doing good. I need to stick the batteries in it. Make sure you didn't have anything come loose or anything. Any problems with electronics. There we go. Alright, we got it back together. But that was pretty simple. Like I said, I'm probably going to dig into this other one and try and see what's wrong with the electronics on it. Just out of curiosity's sake. If I do, I may flip the camera on and kind of show you what I'm testing for. I probably need to get my voltage meter out to do some checking, but it's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of screws to this one. Other than that, it's pretty simple. Just wanted to share that with you as I went through the process, you know, if you run into this. But I appreciate you all. If you like what you see, subscribe, comment, give us a like, you know, let me know that you're watching. If, like I said, if there's anything you want to see me work on, I got a bunch of stuff. A lot of it needs to be worked on. But if there's something in particular, if I don't have it, I'll see if I can find it. And I said, do a video on it. I enjoy doing this, and like I said, I hope it helps somebody out there. But I appreciate it.